Christmas movies are great. I love watching some seriously wholesome content, seeing families get brought back together, reaffirming my belief in Santa Claus. There are some seriously good Christmas movies as well, but sometimes the whole feel-good story can get a little tiring and you need a bit of a break. Well, if you guys are looking for a breather from the classic holiday rom-com, but still want to get a little bit of your Christmas fix in, then I get a list for you. What is good, my friends? My name is Nicholas Playlog, and today we're going to be looking at the top 5 horror movies that you need to watch this Christmas. Let's get into it. Number 5 on this list is Krampus. Krampus isn't the perfect Christmas horror movie, but I think that it's fun and exciting enough to throw on this list. Krampus is a 2015 comedy horror movie, a genre that isn't often explored, centered around the Christmas demon, Krampus. It stars Adam Scott, a pretty famous comedy actor known for his role on Parks and Recreation. It also stars Toni Collette, who has been in plenty of other successful horror movies such as Hereditary and Friday Night. The director is Michael Dougherty, who is known for his cult classic horror film Trick or Treat. He also went on to direct a Godzilla movie after making Krampus. Krampus the demon has been detailed for centuries in folklore as basically being the Satan of Christmas time and the opposite to Santa Claus. In the film, Tom, played by Adam Scott, and Sarah, played by Toni, have a preteen boy named Max, played by MJ Anthony. They're hosting a family Christmas this year and bringing in relatives from all over the place. When these relatives arrive, it turns into the stereotypical image of a dysfunctional family. Complaints coming from everywhere, stress, that one cousin who you just want to kick in the face because they're so freaking annoying. After a little bit of this hell, Max, the preteen, has enough and he runs to his room and tears up the note that he was going to send to Santa, ultimately claiming that Christmas has been ruined. This acts as the inciting incident to awaken the mythological demon of Krampus, who proceeds to hunt after this family who now need to bond together and find a way to survive. It didn't receive exceptional reviews when it came out, but if you're looking for a movie to toss on while you lie under the covers and get entertained for a few hours, then Krampus, definitely the one for you. Number 4 on this list is Silent Night, Deadly Night. Now, I'm not gonna lie to you guys, Silent Night, Deadly Night got some atrocious reviews when it came out. It was released in 1984 and stars Robert Brian Wilson. The premise of this movie is Robert Brian Wilson's character is an 18-year-old boy who has just left the orphanage that he grew up at. He was at this orphanage in the first place because his 2 parents were killed by a man that was dressed as Santa Claus when he was younger. Strapped with all of this trauma from youth, he loses his mind and dresses up as Santa Claus, turning into a serial killer. The origin story is kind of like Batman, except instead of fighting crime, he turns into the crime. Now, the movie received such horrible reviews mainly due to the content of the film. It was released in 1984, and back then, the notion of Santa Claus being anything other than jolly was basically blasphemous. One critic wrote, "You have nothing to be proud of. Your profits truly are blood money." Another critic said that he would like to hear them explain to their children and their grandchildren that it's only a movie. Now, although it got some horrible reviews, and if I'm being completely honest, I don't want to offend anybody here, but it's really not that good of a movie, that's actually the exact reason why I put it on this list. Sometimes, guys, I just want to absolutely shut my brain down, watch a bad movie with a pretty poorly written plot, and that is exactly what you get right here. The fact that it's from the 80s also adds a little element of silliness to it, because the filming style that used to be scary, it's honestly a little comical now. It's also pretty fun watching a fake Santa Claus just go around slashing people down like he's Freddy Krueger. Over the years, this movie has turned into a bit of a cult classic, and for good reason. It had a lot of shock value back then, and because of that, I think it's actually stood the test of time and should be worth a watch. Number 3 on this list is The Children. The Children is a horror mystery movie that was released in 2008. It's set in Britain and follows the story of these children turning evil on their parents. A family with 2 younger children and 1 teenager head to a secluded home to celebrate the new year. When they get there, they meet up with some other family members who happen to have 2 children as well. Everything is going fine at first until Pauline, one of the younger siblings, starts throwing up. This starts to happen to the other children as well, and it's believed by the parents that that this is just due to the long car ride or something that they ate. Over the course of the evening and their stay though, these children start to turn on their parents, and it becomes clear that they've been possessed by some type of demon and are no longer acting as themselves. The movie got some pretty good reviews and is pretty scary if I'm being honest. I personally really like the fact that they're playing with the idea of children having to be good at Christmas time, and they really just flip that on its head. I would also say that the scariest thing for me in movies is having demon children. Actual demons I can handle, but the second that kids start acting like demons, that's when I get spooked. Definitely a solid overall horror movie, and would recommend if you want to get scared. Number 2 on this list is The Wolf of Snow Hollow. The Wolf of Snow Hollow is a movie that was released in 2020 and received some decent reviews. Now it is probably the least centered around Christmas time, but the story does take place during the Christmas season, and there is certainly a lot of Christmas trees throughout the set deck. I suppose if you classify Die Hard as a Christmas movie, then this one should definitely count as well. The Wolf of Snow Hollow is based in a small, ski-friendly town and is basically a story about a werewolf. Deaths start to amount in the small town, and the officers of the town have got to track down who or what is responsible for the grotesque murders. With some strong themes of alcoholism and some really well-built relationships, this movie truly holds up. I also want to note that the editing and filming techniques that they employed when making this project are excellent at building tension. The movie is really the product of Jim Cunnings, who really took to the scene in a movie called Thunder Road in 2018. In this one, he stars, directs, and wrote the actual script, and you truly get the sense that it was done by one person because there is a sense of unity to the film, and everything kind of works together. I highly recommend checking it out if you're looking for a solid action thriller that will keep you on the edge of your seat the entire time. Number 1 on this list is Rare Export's A Christmas Tale. This is a 2010 Finnish movie that received quite a lot of critical acclaim. Based on 2 very successful short films, Rare Export's A Christmas Tale really flips the script on the standard Christmas horror movie. A young boy lives on a reindeer ranch with his dad in Scandinavia. The story starts on the day before Christmas when our hero and his friend are watching some Americans blow a hole in the ground with dynamite. This is nearby the ranch, but it's off limits to trespassers. The audience becomes aware of a Christmas time legend about a monster who got trapped in the ice and was frozen. The 2 boys figure out that that must be what the Americans are trying to get to, but as you're all expecting, they're too late in trying to prevent it, and the monster gets out. All of this is pretty standard horror, but what makes this movie pretty awesome is that the monster is Santa Claus. Well, it isn't exactly Santa Claus, but it looks pretty much exactly like him. So it's a Christmas horror movie where the killer monster is Santa. Like, that's so cool. The movie has 90% on Rotten Tomatoes, a 4 out of 5 on Empire, and 89% of Google users really liked it. Best of all, it's a completely foreign film, so you get to somewhat experience what a Scandinavian Christmas might be like, which is something that you can't really say for most Christmas movies. I also have to give it mad props because the budget was one of the lowest on this list, and yet it still is super highly rated. That just goes to show you guys that story, acting, directing, they're always going to win out in the end. If you're looking for a really cool movie to dive into with some subtitles, this is the one for you. Well, there you have it, guys. That is our list of the top 5 horror movies that you need to watch this Christmas. Let me know in the comments down below if you've seen any of these before and what your thoughts are on them. Also, if you have any recommendations, I would love to hear them. I'm always looking for a good movie, so please hit me with those. Also, hit the like button, smash the subscribe. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you next time.